Hello everyone, this is Waking Up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Welcome in on this Wednesday, the final day of April. We made it to the end of the month. May starts tomorrow. Have you seen any love bugs lately? 'Tis the season. I actually saw one love bug, one singular love bug, and I think it was last week here outside at our parking lot of our studios here in Biloxi. But guess what I saw today? I saw a termite. Uh-oh. So yeah, it's season for spring, love bugs, termites. Don't be surprised to see them as this is that time of year. But in this weather update today, I just wanted to give you a heads up about the bugs, but the weather's not bugging us today. It's just some sunshine this morning, a little breezier. And we're talking about tracking a cool front for the weekend. So we got to show you a little bit about that because look, it's not too often you see cool fronts in the month of May, but this is the one that we're watching for you. Latest information still suggests that it's going to be approaching the area on Thursday. Maybe we see a few thunderstorms trying to move into the area of South Mississippi. The front still holding off to the west on Friday. We could again maybe see a few more storms trying to move through parts of the Gulf Coast region. But then on Saturday, the front actually moves into the Mississippi coast. So this will probably give us our best chance for rain on Saturday. As you can see, a lot of these rain showers are showing up there. But by Sunday, the front moves south of the coast and the weather should be able to dry out. And we'll take a closer look at all of that in the next few graphics. But let's get out of the future, bring it back to the present. And the winds today, they are kicking up a little bit, especially by the beaches. You can see those winds coming in from the Gulf, from the south and southeast. And we have them at about 10 miles an hour already this morning in Gulfport. Apparently it's 16 miles an hour over in Bay St. Louis. So it is already off to a bit of a breezy start on your Wednesday morning. And taking a look at the winds, not just in South Mississippi, but across the whole region, it also looks like it's pretty breezy in plenty of other spots too along the Louisiana coast. So not just here on the Mississippi coast, but elsewhere too. So our WLOX weather apps hour by hour forecast has you covered, showing those wind speeds increasing as we go throughout your Wednesday. You can see the numbers there indicating wind speeds around 10 to 15 miles per hour. At times it could get a little higher than that in a few spots along the beaches, but overall about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures going into the 80s today. This will be another day in the 80s for us. We've had many days like this with these types of temperatures, mid 80s along the coast. A little bit warmer once you're away from the water, upper 80s. It also might not be as breezy. For example, an inland area like Wiggins today, looking at a high temperature of about 87 degrees, maybe 87, 88. And it's not going to be as breezy there. The winds in Wiggins maybe only around 6 to 12, maybe 5 to 10 miles an hour. But then in a place like Biloxi, the high temperature around 84, 85. And I do think that we are expecting a bit more of that breeze right along the coast. So you can expect to see a bit more wind down there. Like I said, 10 to 15, maybe a little bit higher. One moment for a water break. Okay, so anyway, warm and breezy for you on your Wednesday. And you can take a look at some of these weather headlines about what to expect today. You can see that it's warm and humid and breezy today. A heat index around 90 degrees possible again. Hardly any rain expected, but then we go to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we are expecting some better rain chances. But it's not really set in stone. It's kind of tricky. So here's the thing. Have you seen much rain yesterday or the day before? Probably not. The reason why is because of this big blue H, the high pressure system that has been providing us with a somewhat rain-free pattern, keeping our rain chances slim to none for the last few days. However, we are expecting to see that high pressure breaking down. And as that high pressure breaks down, that's going to allow all of these showers and storms, these kind of thunderstorm complexes, they're going to begin to develop a little bit more and head down toward the coast. You see right now we've got the high over here, and that is blocking those from coming our way. They just basically have to roll up toward the north and the east around that high. But Once that high breaks down, these things will be able to make more of a trajectory toward the east, maybe even the southeast. That's exactly what we find on the Futurecast. Rain and thunderstorms for today on Wednesday's Futurecast will stay west of us, but they are hitting Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas today. And you keep looking at this, it gets closer to Mississippi by tonight. We'll see how close this can get. There are some indications it could fall apart before reaching us on the Mississippi coast. So Thursday, well, here's a look at the next 5 days. First of all, Wednesday, here's today. Notice in South Mississippi, you don't see much rain. But then there's tomorrow, Thursday, and you can see green and yellow colors indicating some of us could see soaking rain, and maybe one or two isolated spots could see some heavier downpours. As that area of rain comes closer to Mississippi, there will also be a possibility that we could see some showers and storms pop up, either on top of us or nearby and roll in. So multiple ways for those rain chances on Thursday. Now Friday's map, this is just one model run, but it does show maybe a break for us, but a close call. The rain could be coming in from the north, and then maybe falling apart as it gets closer to Hattiesburg and before it gets to our coast. So we'll see how that shakes out. It might be not exactly like the model shows, and maybe it gets closer to us, and maybe that yellow color gets on top of us for Friday. So we'll see. But that's why we're keeping the rain chance at about 40% on Thursday as well as on Friday, because it's going to be kind of hit or miss depending on exactly where those thunderstorm complexes fall apart. Now Saturday is a different story. It's not going to be one of those complexes of thunderstorms, but instead more like a line of rain and storms, because a cold front is going to be moving in. We tracked that cool front for you at the beginning of this video. And it does move into South Mississippi on Saturday, and I think that will provide us with the best chance of rain out of those next 3 to 5 days. Once we get past Saturday night, the cool front moves in and the drier air comes in behind it, and this provides us with a dry day for Sunday with very little to no rain on Sunday. And it's not just dry with lower rain chance, but it's also dry with lower humidity as well. So while we are dealing with muggy weather for Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and some rain chances on Saturday, that cold front arrives on Saturday night, and then that sends us into a less muggy feel on Sunday. And it's just downright pleasant and dry for next Monday and Tuesday. So that is something to look forward to. If you are wanting a break from the humidity, we could indeed get that as we get into crisp Monday next week and a pleasantly dry Tuesday of next week. So it is a possibility that, as we move into May, usually you're gearing up for that kind of pre-summer feel, but perhaps we will get just one little more break from the humidity. We do have a 10-day forecast, which shows a little bit more into the future. Let's see if I can find that 10-day forecast for you. All right, here you go. So a 10-day forecast for our coastal zone, and you can see that we stay crisp next Monday, pleasant next Tuesday, and you can see it's nice next Wednesday and Thursday, but then getting a little bit warmer on next Friday for May 9th. So just to look into the next 10 days for you there. But there are going to be some cooler mornings, so don't get caught off guard by that. The first noticeably cool morning will be Sunday, lower 60s on the coast. The second noticeably cool morning will be next Monday. We'll see 60 on the coast and probably some upper 50s for areas that are north of I-10. So we are going to see some cooler mornings coming in by the beginning of Sunday. So again, a lot of changes, but first we got to get through those rain chances Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then we can get to those changes as we go to Sunday as well as next Monday and next Tuesday. So that'll pretty much do it for you on this Wednesday edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I won't see you for the rest of the month, but we will see you in the next video next time. So take care. See you around.